All right, guys, so it is Friday, and you all know what Friday means. That means you should be out doing something other than hanging out with me. Not true. Not true at all. This is where you should be. And tonight we're talking a little bit about some new Canon rumors because, well, it's Friday and I'm on lockdown. Maybe you are where you live too, so there's not anywhere to go. So let's look at Canon rumors because I'm kind of excited to see what could be coming out this year. So here we go. Canon rumors. This came out January 6th. Canon cameras that I'm told are coming in 21. So let's take a look, shall we? So number one, high resolution RF body. So what I find interesting is that they are looking at a camera that is, I think they said, yeah, here, at least twice the megapixels of the Canon R5. So how is this going to be in low light? I don't know. Are you going to, this is pushing 100 megapixels. And I believe it was actually on Canon rumors that I saw this one, yeah, the Fujifilm to launch the GFX 100S this month, coming in the US just over $5,000, so 5,500, I believe they said. Oh, sorry, 6,000, 102 megapixels. 102 megapixels. That's a lot of megapixels, without question. But if one company starts doing it, then really they all have to start doing it. So Canon could be releasing something twice as big. So for those of us that were all excited with the R5, well, you got something new to get excited about, I guess. That's going to be way out of my price point and or needs, really. APS-C RF body. This is the one that actually I'm most excited for, because a lot of you realize I have this camera, which is my primary camera, which is the R6. I also have a Canon RP, which I like. I do, and it's actually been used heavily right now for my kind of over-the-shoulder kind of shot when I'm doing my tech review videos. It's kind of new positioning, but I'm really liking it. And of course I have a Canon M50, and with the M series dying, let's say, disappearing, it is really excited to see or figure out what Canon's going to kind of release in the RF line that's going to kind of substitute the M series and the RP. The RP has been out for a while, same with the R. So if you look at here, a long rumor, yeah, source claims that the new APS-C RF mount camera will be directly aimed at sports, wildlife, and videography. So my guess is this is going to be the R7, so the replacement for the Canon 7D Mark II, because that's really that kind of niche market that body was built. I actually have a Canon 7D, not the Mark II, but the 7D, the original, and when that came out, that's really what it was for. You got that extended range with the APS-C sensor because it had that crop, but at the time, it was probably one of the fastest camera bodies out there. And so this one I think is going to not be crazy necessarily with the resolution, but it's going to rely more so on, again, having that reach that you need for things like wildlife as well as sports photography, as well as have it just be ridiculously fast in regards to how fast it can fire the shutter. So I think that's going to be good. The other ones here is a pair of entry-level full frame bodies, and this is really the one that's probably caught the most interest for me, because I'd love to see an RP replacement for sure. And all I want, and this is simple, all I want, a dual pixel autofocus in video with eye detection, and possibly a little bit more resolution. Then that'd be my B cam, happy as could be. The other thing that you kind of think would be coming out would be a series 4 or a replacement for the T series, right? So like the T7i, the T8i, things like that. So those will be disappearing and some kind of replacement coming out. So you'd have a budget APS-C RF and you'd have a budget full frame RF. So both of those kind of be really interesting. And if I had to choose one, I'd probably go with whatever substitutes the RP. And they talk about here, first body would be the most affordable full frame camera Canon has ever made. So if If you can make it cheaper than the RP, cool, as long as it's not just the RP rebranded and pushed into a lower price point, right? I want new features. I want 4K eye detection with dual pixel. Then we're good. And of course, they're going to have probably something like an R replacement. So looking at $899, they figure, for whatever the RP's replacement is, and $1,500 for probably whatever the R's replacement is. We're also looking at, now we'll go back into the high end, EOS R1 flagship. So if you've got way more money, then this would be it. And you have to always look at, like, I think the R1, it's really just a performance, but it's never really been like the highest resolution for megapixels or anything like that. Because even if you look at the R6, it really utilized the 1DX sensor. So you got to think of it as a whole and what that camera is going to be used for. So really exciting to see what an R1 would come out. Definitely probably more pricey than I would ever need, but very cool. EOS C50, so they're saying more of like a box style camera. And if you look at the recent box camera that Panasonic released, that came in around the $2,000, $2,500 mark. So it's really just a starting almost like a shell. So it's kind of got the processor in it, and then you start adding to it, right? It's very modular based. But I think it could be a really, really cool for those that are trying to get into that cinema camera world, so that they can continue to, or just expand, especially beyond stuff like the mirrorless cameras. Because mirrorless cameras really are photo cameras that do video fairly well. Whereas the C series, especially a C50 for instance, probably would be a lot more price friendly in regards to a cinema camera, but it is video. It's designed for video, so there's like overheating issues. You won't see that on a C series, so that could be a huge perk, right? Also, we're seeing the Canon Cinema EOS C90, so we're going to go a little higher, right? Because a lot of people right now are looking at the C70 and giving that a bunch of praise. And last but not least, here we're seeing the Canon 8K. Now, again, the R5 does 8K, but really, really limited with a bunch of heating issues. So if you're looking at 8K video, this could definitely be the camera to be looking at. So it does look like throughout 2021, we say this because there's no specific dates, and I get it because there's still a lot of issues right now, especially with gear and stuff being produced because of all the issues happening with the worldly viruses that are out there. It's just kind of interesting to see what is on the foreseeable future of 2021. For me, the RP replacement or R replacement, depending, but probably the RP replacement, or if they released a APS-C, a little more budget-friendly RF lens or RF body, I think those would be the two. I'm not, or have no need right now for a more expensive camera, but having, like I said, another camera that has good 4K dual pixel autofocus with no crop is high on my list. And if you can get that at a decent budget friendly price, I'm all over it. All right guys, Canon news. Oh yes, go enjoy your Friday night and your weekend and all the other days of 2021. Just enjoy it. Just be out there. All right guys, I'm gonna leave you there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that little bell, and we'll see you guys next video. Later my friends.